every learner's dream is to have rich and wide vocabulary. But a dream is supposed to remain a dream unless we do something actively about it. So let's dedicate 45 minutes from your busy life every day with us here on Sony's tutorial classes and see the wonder within a month or two. We are trying to learn vocabulary with a very effective method, etymology, where we will try and analyze a word or its meaning with the help of its roots and prefixes and suffixes. Today is our day 11. Let's get started. I would like to start the day with the rapid revision of what we have learned so far. I hope you guys remember introvert, extrovert, ambivert. These three words come from the prefix intro, extro and ambi. Intro means inside, extro means outside and ambi means both. There is another word verto here. There is another word verto here which makes introvert means your thoughts are turned towards inside. Extrovert means your thoughts turn outwards, and ambivert means your thoughts turn both ways, inside and outside. Okay. Then we come to words like ambidextrous. We don't have to spend a lot of effort. We don't have to make a lot of effort to understand the meaning of these words, ambidextrous, ambidexterity. Actually, let's talk about the idea of right hand and left hand. Which hand is more skillful, right hand or left hand? You will naturally say right hand is more skillful. So, the Latin word for right hand, which is dexter, is the root word in ambidextrous. Ambi means both. Dexter means right hand, means two right hands. An ambidextrous person can use both his hands like his right hand. Means he is skillful with both his hands. Ambidexterity. Now if you look at this word, this is the noun, this is the quality. Ambidextrous is the adjective which describes people, and the quality they possess is called ambidexterity. The next word is dexterous. As I said, dexter is the Latin word for right hand. So dexterous will also have some association with skill. So what dexterous means? Dexterous means skillful. It means you can use your hands skillfully. And the word dexterous is not only used to give a physical sense of skill. If you have a mental skill, like you can get out of a situation, difficult situation, using your mental skill, that situation can also be described with the word dexterous. Dexterity is the quality, like I said, dexterous people possess the quality dexterity. Gauche. Gauche is the word for left hand, French word for left hand. Gauche, actually I'm pronouncing it the wrong way. Gauche, okay? Just say go and then add the sound sh. Gauche, okay? So gauche was the French word for left hand, and left hand means awkwardness, okay? It has association with awkwardness. So gauche describes someone, it is an adjective, it describes someone who is awkward, clumsy in a social way, someone who doesn't know how to behave in social gatherings. They will embarrass themselves and maybe their parents, okay? I gave you an example of gaucherie, the quality. Gauche people and gauche people have gaucherie, the quality. Social awkwardness. For example, if you go to a funeral and there you mention somebody's ill father, then people will be shocked at your gaucherie, because this is socially unacceptable. You are at a funeral, you shouldn't be talking about another ill person there. Sinister is a Latin word for left hand. Again, sinister, because it is associated with the left hand, so it has a negative meaning. Sinister means ill, evil, threatening, dangerous. And today we are going to do a lot of exercises which will help you guys reinforce, reconsolidate your understanding of these words. Have the word, look at the word adroit here on the screen. Last word, adroit. Adroit comes from the French word droit, for the right hand. Because it is related to the right hand, it is related to skill. So someone who is adroit is skillful. You can be mentally adroit, you can be physically adroit. Okay? So let's move on to the next page. Here we have some more words. I described them all, and I'm going to describe them again to you guys. Misanthrope. The word, all these words where you see the mis prefix, they all come from the prefix misane, which means hatred, to hate. So whichever word has this mes here, this will show some sort of hatred. So let's try and understand these words, their meanings, without learning using a dictionary. Okay. So I'm talking about misanthrope. Now there is a word anthropos here. Let me write this word for you. Anthropos. Now this word is this word has a meaning, mankind. Anthropos means mankind. Now understand the root, okay? Anthropos means mankind, and this is what you need to remember, because this word anthropos will give you so many tough vocabulary, tough words, rare words. Now a misanthrope, what will he do? Because misan means to hate and anthropos means mankind. So from this word misanthrope, from the prefix and the root word, we come to the conclusion that a misanthrope is someone who hates mankind. Means has a negative opinion about mankind. A misanthrope does not think that mankind can do something nice. Human beings are capable of doing something good. Has a very cynical, negative attitude towards people. A misanthrope. How easy it becomes to understand the meaning of a word once you try and analyze it etymologically, when you break it down into the root and the prefix and the suffixes. Let's look at the next word. The next word is misogynist. Again, you don't need a dictionary to understand the meaning of this word if I tell you the root and the prefix. As you can see, the prefix is the same, misane, which means to hate, and then we have the word gyne here. Gyne. Gyne. G-Y-N-E. Gyne is the root word for women. Gyne is the root word for women. So just remember the root word, okay? Just focus on the root word. Everything else will be easy for you guys. Gyne means women. So a misogynist will be a person who hates women, naturally. A misogynist is someone who hates women, because you have the prefix misane and then you have the root word gyne. Misogynist, someone who hates women. Then we have, again this happened, okay, I think we'll find a solution to this. A misogamist, if you look at the word here is a misogamist. Again you see the same prefix guys, misane, and there is this word gemist. This comes from the root word gemos, which means marriage. Gemos is the root word for marriage. It is a Greek root word for marriage. Now remember, gyne, women, alright, anthropos, mankind, and gemos, marriage. Now think about misogamist. If misogynist is someone who hates women, then who is a misogamist? A misogamist is someone who hates marriage. So this person is not very positive about getting married. He does not look at marriage as in a very positive way. Okay? So a misogamist, he hates marriage. Now the next word, which you cannot see on the screen, I'm saying it for you. Anthropology. The next word is anthropology here. Anthropology. Now, how will you understand? Again, you don't need a dictionary to understand this word. Remember Anthropos? Anthropos means mankind. And then we have L-O-G-Y. Normally, when you see L-O-G-Y as the ending, it comes from the root logos, okay? Suffix logos, but it means science, a subject, something that we study. So, anthropology is a subject that we study. Now, what this subject is about? Because there is the root word anthropos, so you can say that perhaps we study human beings, we study mankind. Yes, anthropology is the subject where you study how mankind has evolved to this state where we are today from where we started. So the subject that you study to learn about the journey of mankind is anthropology. Don't you have words like zoology, biology, and so many, psychology? All these are subjects. So anthropology has to be a subject. And because this root word anthropos, so it is a subject where we study the journey of mankind from the primitive times up to now. Anthropology. Shall we continue? Look at the next word, philanthropist. Again, don't you see here the same root word anthropos somewhere? So as misanthrope hates human beings, a philanthropist is someone who loves human beings, who loves mankind. And what does it actually mean today? Someone who actively involves himself in the welfare of human beings by donating money, by donating time, by doing things to help human beings. A philanthropist. A philanthropist is someone who helps the mankind by actively doing something. Now, if you are thinking of the word altruist, which you studied a few days back, then you are not wrong, because both these words go in the same direction. An altruist is someone who cares about human beings, but a philanthropist is someone who actively does something for human beings. Alright? An altruist cares about other people, is not selfish. An altruist is not selfish. And a philanthropist shows his love for mankind by doing things actively. You can become very rich, but then extra money that you have, you can donate it to charity. This gesture will be called a philanthropistic gesture, because you are showing your love for the mankind. You are donating your money to mankind. So you are a philanthropist. Now you can think of the name Bill Gates. He is a big philanthropist. He does so much for the mankind. The next word we are going to study is gynecology. Gynecologist here. Now again, you don't need a dictionary to understand why. You remember gyne, I just told you, gyne, women, gyne, and logos, subject. So ist is normally a prefix for somebody who does something. A gynecologist is someone who studies women. Studies women means is a doctor who cures or treats women of their own disorders. So someone who is an expert on female disorder is a gynecologist. The pronunciation is pretty challenging, gynecologist, okay? So a gynecologist is someone who studies the disorder of women or takes care of women, their problems. So he's a doctor. A gynecologist is a doctor for women. Let's look at some more words here. Monogamy. Again, you have the same root word gamos, which means marriage. Mono means one. You might have studied in science, monoxide, carbon monoxide, one oxygen, right? So monogamy means, mono means one, and gamos means marriage. One marriage means a practice where one person can be married to just one person at a time. That is called monogamy. Monogamy is the practice of one marriage at a time. You cannot be married to 2 or 3 or more people at a time. That is monogamy. Let's look at the next word, bigamy. Now, here you have bi, which means two, and then we have gamos again. So bigamy is a practice where people marry twice, okay, etymologically. But in modern world today, bigamy word is used to suggest an illegal practice of getting married the second time when you have not divorced your wife already. Your second marriage does not get a legal sanctity unless you have divorced your first wife. Your second marriage is not acceptable unless you have divorced your first wife. So bigamy is this thing. It is crime, it is illegal because you have not divorced your first wife and you are getting married again. So you are practicing bigamy. Next we have polygamy. Now polygamy means, you can guess the meaning because of just the word poly here. Poly means many. So polygamy is practice where one can get married many times. Polygamy. In the past, men used to practice polygamy, right? Especially kings and people in aristocrats' families, because they could afford to have more wives financially, you know. So polygamy is the practice of many marriages. So monogamy, practice of one marriage. Bigamy, practice of two marriages, but this has an additional meaning, it is illegal. Bigamy is a crime, right? Polygamy, some societies approve of polygamy. Some societies accept polygamy, while most societies in modern world do not accept polygamy. They think no, a man should be or a woman should be married to one person at a time. If you're not happy with your person, of course you can get married again, but first you need to divorce your wife or husband, right? Now, actually the next word, polygyny, is again not very difficult to understand because of the root and the suffixes. Look here. We have poly and then we have gyne. So poly means many and gyne means woman. So many women. So a man, when he does a lot of marriages, more than 1, 2 marriages, that is called polygyny actually. But this word is not so popular. The most popular word is polygamy. Polygamy can apply to man or woman both. More marriages, right? Plural marriages. But polygyny can be only applied in the context where a man is doing it, because a man gets married to women. However, things are becoming blurred nowadays with homosexual people getting married, same-sex people getting married. So these things are getting blurred nowadays. But we need to understand what this word means. Polygyny means the practice where a man can marry many women is polygyny. And then we have polyandry. Here we will learn a new word here, polyandry. Andros. Andros. Remember this word, this root. Andros, male. Man, andros. Just remember the root word, okay? If you remember the root, if you remember the prefixes and suffixes, it will be very easy to figure out the meaning of these words. Andros means male, man. Now polyandry means? Polyandry is that kind of practice where a woman is allowed more than one husband. When a woman can marry more than one man, that practice is called polyandry. So now you understand, polygyny, polyandry together is polygamy. Okay. So I think with the help of these roots and prefixes and suffixes, things are becoming easier for you guys. And I'm going to give you a lot of practice today through exercises where you can definitely revise your understanding, review your understanding of these words, okay? Let's see. And it is also important to understand that one word in English gives you varieties in parts of a speech. Like the word misanthropist, misanthropist or misanthrope is a person, right? And the practice is called misanthropy, okay? Misanthropy, okay? Misanthropy. And the adjective is misanthropic, misanthropic. So understand, from one word you're getting 3 words: person, practice and adjective. Let's take an easy example first of all, okay? A misogynist is someone who hates women, right? Misogynist. A misogynist, IST, is a very common ending for people, a person who does something, IST, okay? So misogynist is someone who hates women, and this practice is called misogyny. This thinking, this idea is called misogyny, an abstract noun from the noun misogynist, and the adjective misogynous or misogynistic. He is misogynous attitude. He is what kind of attitude? Misogynous attitude. The misogynous attitude of our politicians. See, I am taking a noun attitude and I am describing it with an adjective. The misogynous attitude or the misogynistic attitude. The misogynistic attitude. Alright? The misogynistic attitude of today's politicians. So, learn the three words: person, practice, and the adjective. Let's take the word. A gynecologist is a doctor, someone, okay, a gynecologist, and this science that they study is gynecology. Gynecology, a science where you study about female disorders, diseases in female body. A gynecologist, gynecology, and then the adjective gynecological, gynecological, the adjective. So, if you understand one word, you are getting three words, right? Monogamist is someone who believes and practices one marriage. Monogamist. Most men today are monogamists, and they believe in monogamy. They practice monogamy. And here the adjective is monogamous. Monogamous men. Monogamous men. Men is a noun. You need an adjective to describe this noun. So you say monogamous men. Similarly, bigamist is someone who has done the second marriage without divorcing his first wife. A person, right? Bigamist, a person. A bigamist is a person, and this practice is called, guys, bigamy. Bigamy is a crime and a bigamist is a criminal. Bigamy is a crime and a bigamist is a criminal. And here the attitude, bigamous attitude. Bigamous is the adjective. So move on to number 6, polygamist. Polygamist. Polygamist is someone who believes in many marriages, right? And this practice is called polygamy. So learn how you are getting from one word to another, and the adjective will be polygamous. So don't you see a pattern in all the adjectives? You see either OUS, for example misogynous or monogamous or polygamous, or TIC, misogynistic, philanthropic. So IC, misanthropic. So learn these suffixes which tell you the part of a speech of the word. Because when you have got this fill in the blanks, there are three words can come to your mind: a noun, a practitioner, person, and an adjective. Which word will you use there? So you have to understand this from the part of a speech of the word. So take a look. Polyandrist. A woman, a polyandrist can be a woman, right? A woman who practices marriage with a lot of men, more than one man. A polyandrist. So a polyandrist is a woman, and this practice is called polyandry, and this adjective from polyandry we get is polyandrous. I hope you guys are getting a hang of how words are changing from one part of a speech to another. The first two are nouns, but the first one is person and the second one is an abstract noun, the practice, the science, the system, and the third is an adjective. A philanthropist is a person, and this practice is called philanthropy, and the adjective is philanthropic. Now, if you have understood these words, Then let me help you with one more word that I didn't teach you, okay? One more word that I want to help you with. Remember we talked about ascetic, huh? Okay, let's see. This word will come here. Come, let's take a look here. First of all, understand the roots. Ego. Ego means I. Now think of any example with the word ego that you have learned in this live class session. Egoist, egotist who talks a lot about himself, egocentric, egomaniac. You can think of any one example. Ego, okay? So you understand the root word ego, which means I, self. Alter means the other. And that's why you have words, so many words, right? Altruism, altruist, and then so many other words like altercation, alteration, alter ego. So think of just one example, okay? Next we have intro. Intro means inside. One word that you learned was introvert. That could be a good example here. Then we have extro. What does extro mean? Outwards, right? Outside. Extro. One example word, guys. Extrovert. Now we have verto, V-E-R-T-O, verto. These are the root words, guys, okay? We find them hidden in the words, okay? We need to understand, make friends with these prefixes, suffixes and root words, and then understanding an English language word will be easy, okay? So, verto means turn. Now, one example, you can give one of the three, introvert, extrovert or ambivert, because word verto is present in all the three. Next we have ambi. Ambi means, remember, both. So ambidextrous, someone who uses both their hands in the right way, like a right hand, skillfully, ambidextrous. And ambivert, someone who is a good mixture of, good balance of extrovert and an introvert. Next we have misane. Misane, remember, if you remember the root word, it will help you. So put all your energy here to learn these root words and their meanings. Misane means hate. Now with this word we have so many examples we just had. Someone who hates marriage is misogynist. Someone who hates women is a misogynist. Right? Someone who hates mankind, a misanthrope. Next, Anthropos. Anthropos means mankind. I just gave you an example. You could use the same example. Misanthrope. Anthropology, the study of mankind. Gyne means woman. A gynecologist. Polygyny. Poly means many. Gyne means aurat, woman. So polygyny means many women, means a practice where you can marry a lot of women, more than one woman. Gamos, marriage. Ascets, monk. Now this is the word I wanted to help you with. Ascets, monk. From this word we learned the word ascetic. Ascetic is like a monk, a hermit, lives a lonely life, doesn't enjoy going to parties or inviting people and cooking chicken and having laughter and dance and all these things. These are things for worldly people. And an ascetic person is like a monk, like a hermit, lives alone, spends his time studying, wants to achieve something meaningful in life, does not want to waste his life giving pleasures to the body, wants to purify his soul, an ascetic. A lot of students, young students from villages coming to cities, staying in a single room, living an ascetic life with the hope that someday they will have a very nice career and they will make their parents, their village, their people proud of themselves. An ascetic life they live. So an ascetic life will be life like a hermit's, like a monk's, not giving yourself pleasures, denying yourself all the pleasures of the body, whether it is in terms of food, whether it is in terms of having company of women, nothing for you because you are an ascetic. The word ascetic is used both as a noun and adjective, ascetic. Okay, so are we ready to move on to the next slide? Some more, suffixes, roots and prefixes. Centrum. This word centrum was there when we said egocentric, self in the center, centrum. Mania. Mania means obsession, madness. So did you learn any word with mania? Egomaniacal, remember? Egomaniac means I becomes a mania for that person. I becomes an obsession for that person. Goes to a level where he can be called sick. He can be called dangerous, not fit for society, egomaniacal people. So mania means disease, it is some sort of madness, it is an obsession. Next word is Dexter. Dexter, I told you, is the word for right hand. Okay, Dexter means right hand. So we have so many words like dexterous, ambidextrous, and nouns, dexterity, ambidexterity, the qualities. Sinister. Sinister is the word for left hand. So sinister means bad, evil, ugly, dangerous, sinister. One example with sinister, sinister itself is a word, right? Gauche. Gauche is also another word for left hand. Okay, so gauche means also clumsy, awkward, usually used in social context, not in physical context. If somebody is too tall, thin, we will not call them gauche because it's more about physical awkwardness. But if somebody doesn't know how to behave with people, in a group of people, then we can call them gauche. This word gauche is often associated with teenage. When we are growing up, usually teenagers are not very comfortable and confident dealing with people. So teenage gaucherie is a very common term, teenage gaucherie. Okay, droit. Droit is another word for right hand. So with the word droit, we get an example, adroit. Adroit means very quick-witted, very intelligent, who knows how to handle a situation, adroit. Move on. Monos means one, bi means two, polis, many. We use these words, right? So you just focus on these roots, prefixes and suffixes, and they are going to help you in many more words that we are going to learn in coming days, alright? Andros means male. IST is a common suffix for person who. An economist is someone who studies economy. A polyandrist is someone who practices polyandry. So IST is a common suffix for people. Y is a common practices. No. So here we had so many words. For example, polygyny, monogamy, all these are Y words, and they all express or talk about practices. So with these, I think that you guys have developed or reconsolidated your understanding of nouns, all these roots, suffixes and prefixes. And these are going to help you decide and make your decisions in the exercises here. So I don't want you to do it fast. Give yourself some time and decide which word will go with which definition. Always try and understand the word etymologically, means break it down into the suffix, prefix and the root. Ambidextrous. Ambi, both. Dexter, right hand. Meaning clear. Capable of using both hands with equal skill. Ambidextrous. Yes, only dexterous, What do you think when dexterous? Because right hand. So right hand means skill. So dexterous, O-U-S, the adjective ending, skillful. Sinister, left hand, evil, threatening, sinister. Gauche, gauche, this bad habit, gauche, gauche, okay, gauche. Left hand. So what would you call it? What would be the definition? Awkward, but in a social way. Gauche. Misanthropic, misane, hate. Anthropos, mankind. Misanthropic, icy, adjective. Ending is icy, misanthropic, adjective. Hating mankind. How simple it becomes because of the roots and the suffixes and the prefixes. Let's take a look at these 5 words now. Anthropology. Look at all the Y endings. Y. Practices. Subject. Right? Nouns. Anthropology. Anthropos, mankind. Logos, study. Anthropology. Study of mankind. Study of human development. How man has reached this stage. The study of this is called anthropology. Gynecology, gyne and study. Gynecology, study of female ailments. Ailments mean diseases. Gynecology, study of female ailments. Monogamy, mono, one, gamos, marriage. Monogamy, system of only one marriage. Bigamy, bi two, gamos, illegal plurality of marriages. Because I told you now, bigamy has an inherent connotation of being illegal. So bigamy is illegal. So bigamy is illegal plurality of marriages. When you are married already and you are getting married again, you are making your marriage plural in an illegal way. If you have divorced your first wife, it will not be called bigamy. But you already have a wife and then you are getting married to another, that is bigamy. Frauds do it, you know. Usually frauds commit bigamy. They don't have sincere intentions usually. I'm not saying all the time, usually. Okay. Next, misogyny. Again we have misane, hate, angine, woman. So misogyny is hatred of woman. Guys, don't you think learning words is becoming easier this way? And you don't really need to remember the Hindi of these words. All you need to do is just keep the roots, suffixes and prefixes. And they are so frequent that it will not be very difficult for you to remember them, keep them in your mind. It will be easy because they come again and again. They are very frequent. Rare things are difficult to remember. But you see these prefixes, suffixes, roots everywhere. It's just that you have started looking at them now. So yes, you will start noticing them with a lot of words. Here. Move on to the next. Match the words with their definitions. Again, a polygamist is a person, right? What kind of person? Look at the definition. Polygamist, many. Polygynist, sorry, the word is polygynist. And there is gyne. Gyne means woman. So a polygynist is a male with a plurality of wives. Polygynist is a male with a plurality of wives, means has more wives than one. A polyandrist. Polygynist, gyne. Polyandrist, andros, male. So a polyandrist is a woman, right? A woman with a plurality of husbands. A female with a plurality of husbands is a polyandrist. An anthropologist. Anthropos, mankind. And someone who studies, easy, a student of the development of mankind. An anthropologist is a student of the development of mankind. Next we have a gynecologist. A gynecologist is gyne, woman, study, subject, IST, someone who, so a gynecologist is a woman's doctor. A philanthropist, Anthropos, mankind, phil, love. A philanthropist is someone who engages in charitable works. When will you engage yourself in charitable works? When you want to help people. So it means you love mankind, you want to do something for them. So is it your aim one day to be a philanthropist? I hope so. You answered in yes. Okay. Now, think and say yes or no. Think and say yes or no. You have to just think a little bit here. Okay. Do you think ambidextrous people can use either the left or right hand equally well? Do you think ambidextrous people can use the left and right hand equally well? Absolutely. They can. So your answer should be yes. Okay. Now, move on to number 2. Do you think a surgeon should be manually dexterous? See how you develop understanding of these words through these exercises. A surgeon should be manually dexterous. If you are doing the surgery and you are not dexterous, skillful with your hand, manually dexterous, don't you think you can cut the wrong part and you can get your patient in danger? So a surgeon has to be manually dexterous, means need to have a good control over his hands. He should be able to use his hands skillfully, manually dexterous. A surgeon needs to be manually dexterous, right? Dexter, dexterous, skillful. I'm just giving you reminders, okay? Do you think a sinister looking person is frightening? Sinister looking person. Sinister is dangerous, so dangerous looking person will frighten you. A sinister looking person will frighten you. So when you find somebody looks frightening, you call them sinister looking as well. However, they won't like it. Do you think gaucherie is a social asset? Asset means someone that is valuable, right? Asset, a building, yeah, knowledge, these are assets, means valuable thing. So do you think, gaucherie is a social asset? Of course not, because gaucherie is the lack of social tactfulness. You do not know how to behave in society with people. That is gaucherie. So it is not an asset, it is a weakness. Do you think an adroit speaker is likely to be a successful lawyer? An adroit speaker, adroit, right hand, adroit, skillful, and a skillful speaker, an adroit speaker is likely to be a successful lawyer or not? Of course, you will say yes. Next, do you think a student of anthropology is interested in primitive tribes? Primitive tribes, those tribes which still live in very old-fashioned way. There are a lot of tribes even today who live in a very old-fashioned way. They have nothing to do with the modernity. They still hunt and eat animals, So, primitive tribes. A student of anthropology is interested in primitive tribes? Absolutely, because he wants to study the journey of mankind's development. Do you think a gynecologist has more male than female patients? Do you think a gynecologist has more male than female patients? What will a gynecologist do to a man patient? Told you that a gynecologist is a doctor of female disorders. Human body anatomy is very much the same, but women have some extra parts, right? So somebody who studies and becomes a specialist in these things, they are gynecologists. So of course a gynecologist will have female patients more, not male patients. Do you think monogamy is the custom in Western countries? I think not only in Western countries, in most developed modern societies, monogamy is the custom. Everybody practices monogamy now, right? It is very much disrespect to women if we have more than one wife. If they are not allowed to have more than one husband, then we should not be allowed to have more than one wife at a time. So, monogamy is the custom in Western countries. Do you think a misogynist is likely to show tendencies toward polygamy? Think about a misogynist. a misogamist shows tendencies towards polygamy? Really? Polygamy means many marriages, and misogamist is someone who dislikes marriages, hates marriages. Why would he go for polygamy? Definitely not. 10. Do you think a bigamist is breaking the law? Do you think a bigamist is breaking the law? Do you think a bigamist is breaking the law, guys? A bigamist is breaking the law? Absolutely, it is illegal. Bigamy is illegal. So a bigamist is breaking the law. Now, 11. What does it say? Do you think a philanthropist is generally altruistic? Do you think a philanthropist is generally altruistic? A philanthropist has to be altruistic. Otherwise, why would he try to help the mankind if he is not altruistic? He has to think about others, right? So a philanthropist is generally altruistic. Let's look at some more. 12. Do you think a misanthropist enjoys human relationships? Okay. What time is it? Do we have time left to continue? Okay. I guess I should end it here because it is 8:50 now. Alright. We'll continue tomorrow. Like you see, now that you have started understanding, becoming friends with the roots, learning words has become easier. I'm sure that dedicated students would start enjoying classes from today more than earlier, because they'll really feel a sense of accomplishment. They will think that they are learning new words, and I hope that this feeling will only continue to grow. So guys, let's meet tomorrow. Thank you very much for being with me. Share the links wherever you can, and thank you. Be with me tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Bye-bye.